somebody were to parody the truly ugly behavior at some of these healthcare town halls, it might read like this. Today, an angry mob heckled a woman in a wheelchair, a woman who has not one but two incurable autoimmune diseases. In our fourth story in the countdown, sadly, no parody required. This actually happened in Red Bank, New Jersey, at a healthcare town hall meeting. Congressman Frank Pallone presiding, and the woman in the wheelchair attempted to preface her question by describing her current predicament.
I was diagnosed with two incurable autoimmune diseases. I live in fear every day that I will lose my home, not because I took on some irresponsible mortgage. No, I worked hard my whole life. The copay for one of my medications is $389 every 2 weeks. And I'm afraid I might not be able to afford my property taxes and I'll lose my home. Please hear this voice of the disabled. Don't let the insurance lobby win this fight.
I don't know how a handicapped woman in a chair has more rights than I do.
That's right. Side with the insurance company, idiot. They always look out for you, don't they? That example now added to the list of other town hall atrocities like RNC Chair Michael Steele, who after a woman said that her mother had died of cancer told that woman she made great TV and to enjoy it, as we showed you last night. Like Congresswoman Lynn Jenkins of Kansas, who after a woman with a child spoke of not having health care, told that woman to be a grown-up and go buy some insurance. Like the crowd that booed the memory of Senator Kennedy just 6 days after he died. And if you think that all conservatives are congratulating themselves for this kind of inhuman distraction, you would be wrong. At least a few of them think it prevents honest policy debate, apart from the lack of humanity. For example, the president of a conservative research group saying, quote, part of the problem on the Republican side is an unwillingness to say, let's find a right way to do this, and let's go ahead, even if all the special interests don't like what we're doing. I think the critics have approached this in the wrong way. Saying there's going to be a death panel is not the right way. Let's turn now to Huffington Post contributor, MSNBC political analyst Lawrence O'Donnell. Lawrence, good evening.
Good to be here, Keith.
Thinking of that woman in the wheelchair in Red Bank, New Jersey, to paraphrase a line from a different time and a different place, at long last have they no sense of decency?
I have seen nothing like it, Keith. In all my experience in these kinds of situations, I've been out on the road with senators in town hall meetings starting 20 years ago. I have never seen anything like the behavior that woman had to suffer. I have an explanation for a lot of things that are going on here. I have an explanation for a lot of the policy elements that are going on here and a lot of the politics. I have no explanation for what you just saw.
All right, broaden it out a little bit. Let's assume we just had some drunks or we had some, I don't know what, people who don't like women and some women who don't like women or whatever these people what their problems might be, or they're escapees from some sort of halfway house. No offense to halfway houses. But what perverse force has turned people at events like this, not into necessarily heckling people in wheelchairs, but just into that lesser charge about defending insurance companies, which almost makes as little sense when you think about it?
This is just blind political hatred. This is just, I hate the politics of those people on the other side. I hate the politics of Democrats. I hate the politics of liberals. So whatever they say, I am opposed to. And I don't pause and check my own interests while I do that. But, you know, this defense of insurance companies, I'm afraid to say, is perversely widespread because the bills being considered in the Congress now preserve the insurance company's position in this industry. And the insurance company's position in the healthcare field is the problem. They are the ones who take out this massive amount of money for administration costs, for advertising costs, that is not used in any useful way in healthcare. And so the bills that are being considered now preserve their position, force people to become their customers. You can see why the members of the House are outraged on the liberal side of the House that there's the possibility of dropping the public option, because they've already compromised enormously by giving up their position in terms of Medicare for all. And now they're being asked to compromise even further on a pro-insurance company bill.
Yeah, it's a Democratic president who is now backing, if he does drop the public option, is at this point backing an almost entirely Republican bill. The New York Times piece to which I referred and quoted Mr. Goodman in. Many conservatives concerned real policy has been totally obscured by nonsense, the death panels and paranoia. Does that perhaps leave some sort of crack in the door here, open for actual reformers to reshape the debate along actual policy lines, like how health care reform would actually help as many people as possible?
We are going to get to a policy debate. I'm not sure how many people are going to watch it, but when the Finance Committee in the Senate eventually gets to what they call a markup, where amendments will be offered by Republicans and so forth, at least on C-SPAN, there will be a real policy debate. These will not be frivolous amendments. They'll be real things, and they'll have real differences. And we'll see those differences play out. And I think some people will like some of the Republican amendments, and then some people will like some of the Democratic amendments if they watch this. And also when we get to the Senate floor. On the Senate floor, it will be a real debate. It will be a relevant debate. It'll happen through the process of amendment, and that's where we're going to see the real debate. But all this fireworks prior to that is setting the boundaries of the debate in a certain sense. And if the public option is gone, as it looks like it's going to be, by the time we get to the Senate floor, then what you're going to see is an attack on the employer mandate.
Right.
And they will. I believe the Republicans will successfully strip out the employer mandate. They will successfully strip out many other elements of this bill, so that the question you raised tonight, Keith, which has now become, as of September, the most important question, is it worth it to pass a bad bill? Mm-hmm. Is the product you're looking at in the end a bad bill? That is a crucial decision to make, and the White House seems to be saying there's no such thing as a bad bill. There's a quote in the New York Times today where a White House official, unnamed, says he, meaning the president, he will do almost anything to get a deal. What is almost?
Lose the renomination for president in 2012? Lawrence O'Donnell of MSNBC and the Huffington Post. Thank you kindly, Lawrence.
Thanks, Keith.